Welcome to Slav Media on YouTube. It's your guy Sportslav, broadcasting live on location at the Veterans Memorial Park in Huntsville, Alabama. We are starting a new type of live stream today, which will be dealing with men and women's college basketball. We will look at the Associated Press top 25 for each division, men or women. Then we'll look at the matchups in which they have, the matchups that we will discuss in each and every one of these will be the games that take place on Saturday of the said week that's in question. For this week, all games that we discuss will be taking place specifically on January 4th of 2024. Each week, this live stream will go on Tuesdays. The exception being today's a new year. We just kind of wanted to get things started on the right foot. So these live streams for the basketball will be going on through the end of the regular season for basketball for 1 week before. As it gets closer, I'll let you know when we get close to the end date. We're still going to continue doing separate live streams on different things when it's appropriate, but we are going to be doing a different kind of thing. Once we go over who the matchups are, then we're going to dig a little deeper, but unlike football, we're not going to do the over-under and we're not going to do the margin of victory. But what we're going to do is we're going to make this a group thing. We're going to go over the teams again, and then I'm going to get your opinion on who you think will win the game. I will keep a record of it and stuff, and each week before moving on to the next week, we will be going over how we did the previous week. Can y'all hear me out there in YouTube land? Can y'all hear me out there? All right, so let's get started with this live stream, shall we? We'll start with the women's college basketball AP poll top 25. In the AP this week, you have number 1, UCLA, number 2, South Carolina, number 3, Notre Dame, number 4, USC, number 5, Texas, number 6, LSU, number 7, UConn or Connecticut. Number 8, Maryland. Number 9, Oklahoma. Number 10, Ohio State. Number 11, TCU. Number 12, Kansas State. Number 13, Georgia Tech. Number 14, Duke. Number 15, Tennessee. Number 16, Kentucky. Number 17, North Carolina. Number 18, West Virginia. Number 19, Alabama. Number 20, California. Number 21, Michigan State. Number 22, North Carolina State. Number 23, Iowa. Number 24, Michigan. Number 25, Ole Miss. In the men's college basketball AP poll top 25, you have number 1, Tennessee. Number 2, Auburn. Number 3, Iowa State. Number 4, Duke. Number 5, Alabama. Number 6, Florida. Number 7, Kansas. Number 8, Marquette. Number 9, Oregon. Number 10, Kentucky. Number 11, UConn or commonly Connecticut. Number 12, Oklahoma. Number 13, Texas A&M. Number 14, Houston. Number 15, UCLA. Number 16, Cincinnati. Number 17, Mississippi State. Number 18, Michigan State. Number 19, Gonzaga. Number 20, Purdue. Number 21, Memphis. Number 22, Illinois. Number 23, Arkansas. Number 24, Ole Miss. Number 25, Baylor. Now, what we're going to do is after we go over the top 25 for each of those, we will then look at, within the men and the women, the top 25 matchups, and the games in question will always take place on the Saturday in the week in question. And this week, the games will be taking place on January 4th. Again, if you're just joining me, thank you for joining me on this live stream from Veterans Memorial Park in Huntsville, Alabama. I'm your guy, Sportslav. Anyway, we're broadcasting live on location for this, and this is going to be a once-a-week live stream that we will be doing regarding college basketball for the men and women. We'll go over the AP poll top 25. We'll go over the matchups that they have for the Saturday in question. This week will be for January 4th, and we'll do this until 1 week before the end of the last week of the regular season. So we've already gone over the top 25 for the women and the top 25 for the men. Let's look at the matchups now. In the women's aspect of things for this January 4th, there's not a lot of games, but you have number 1, UCLA versus Indiana. Number 12, Kansas State versus Texas Tech. Number 18, West Virginia versus BYU. And number 11, TCU versus Cincinnati. For the men, you will have number 6, Florida versus number 10, Kentucky. You'll have number 24, Ole Miss versus Georgia. You'll have number 1, Tennessee versus number 23, Arkansas. You'll have number 3, Iowa State versus number 25, Baylor. Number 14, Houston versus BYU. Number 15, UCLA versus Nebraska. Number 17, Mississippi State versus South Carolina. Number 4, Duke versus SMU. Number 16, Cincinnati versus Arizona. Number 2, Auburn versus Missouri. Number 5, Alabama versus number 12, Oklahoma. Number 13, Texas A&M versus Texas. And number 19, Gonzaga versus Loyola Marymount. So now we've gone over who the matchups are. And I also thank you for having a great day, Bubblegum. I hope that you are having a great one. So we're going to go back to the women's games now, and this is going to be your picks. So if I don't get any votes, I'll be the one casting the votes, and I'd rather not be the one casting all the votes. So let's go over this. UCLA versus Indiana. And it doesn't matter if you don't know anything about these teams at all. If you don't, that's okay. We're just going to be doing random guessing. We're going to try to figure out how well we can do based on how well we're guessing. So, again, Happy New Year's to you as well. I love cats. So, again, I'm asking y'all in YouTube land, in your game pick in the women's basketball world, UCLA versus Indiana, who do y'all have? Anybody? Okay, I guess no one's going to vote on that one, so I'm going to cast a vote, and it will be UCLA. We will go with UCLA on that one. All right, next game we're going to cast a vote for is number 12, Kansas State versus Texas Tech. And again, this is in women's basketball, so even if you don't know anything about these teams, just tell me who you want to win the game. We're going to make the picks like that. We're going to do that each week during college basketball season. So anyway, number 12, Kansas State or Texas Tech, who do you have? Anybody? All right. Nobody's casting a vote, so I've got Kansas State, and that's who we're going to go with. Next one in the women's aspect is West Virginia or BYU. West Virginia or BYU in the women. Anybody? All right. Nobody's voting on these, and so this is going to be West Virginia, the one I'm going with on this game. So last one for the women that we will be doing this week. Number 11, TCU versus Cincinnati. Who do y'all have? I have TCU. Who do you have? Anybody? All right. I guess I'll cast the vote, and it'll be TCU. Now, we've gone over the women's games. Now, in the men's matchups and stuff, I need y'all to tell me, for voting purposes, who you have winning the game. We're just going to do random picks. It doesn't matter if you know anything about the teams or not. Whichever one gets the most votes, that's the one we go with. So, next on the list is going to be, for me, and it's all men now, number 6, Florida versus number 10, Kentucky. Who do y'all have out there in YouTube land? Anybody? Okay, since nobody seems to be voting right now, that's okay. But I want this to be a group thing, and I'd like your opinion on this. So, anyway, out of number 6, Florida, or number 10, Kentucky, I'm going Kentucky. That's the pick we're going to go with. Next game we're going to make a pick for is going to be number 24, Ole Miss versus Georgia. Who do y'all have? Ole Miss or Georgia? Okay, tough crowd. I could see that. That's okay. In this game, I think I'm going to go Georgia. I think Georgia has a better chance to beat Ole Miss this time in men's basketball. All right, next one we're going to look at is number 1, Tennessee versus number 23, Arkansas. Who do y'all have in YouTube land? I'm going Tennessee, but this is not just my picks. I'm wanting y'all to be involved. So who do you have, Tennessee or Arkansas in men's college basketball? Anybody? All right. Nobody seems to be voting. So in this game, I'm going Tennessee. They're playing much better than Arkansas is right now. So, all right, next game we're going to look at is number 3, Iowa State versus number 25, Baylor. Who do y'all have, Iowa State or Baylor? And again, you don't have to know anything about these teams. You can just tell me who you like, and if anyone gets anything for saying a team, that's who we go with. So anybody want to pipe in on that? You're welcome to do so out here on YouTube land. Iowa State or Baylor? Well, since no one's responding on this one, we're going to go Iowa State. All right, next game we're going to look at will be number 14, Houston versus Brigham Young. Houston or Brigham Young? Anybody? Alrighty, nobody's voting on this one, so we're going to go Houston. I like Houston over BYU in this game, so... All right, in the men's front, we're still dealing with men's basketball games. Next game is number 15, UCLA versus Nebraska. UCLA or Nebraska, who do you have? Anybody? Well, for me, since nobody's going to vote on that, I'm going to go. Most people would favor number 15, UCLA, but in this one, I'm going to kind of throw a monkey wrench in there, and I'm going to go Nebraska. Although that might come back and bite me, but that's okay. Next game we're going to make a decision on picking for will be number 17, Mississippi State versus South Carolina. Who do y'all have, Mississippi State or South Carolina? Anybody? All right, so in this game, I'm thinking Mississippi State. They're playing a little better, so that's who we're going to go with. All right, this one should be an easy one, but we'll see what people think on it. Number 4, Duke versus Southern Methodist University. And keep in mind, this is basketball, not football. Duke or SMU? Duke or SMU? Okay. In this game, I think I'm going to go Duke. Duke seems to be the better team between the two of them. So, all right, next game we're going to look at is number 16, Cincinnati versus Arizona. Cincinnati or Arizona, who do y'all have for picking? Again, we're going to be doing this each and every week for the college basketball games for the men and women in the top 25 within their matchups. And some weeks they'll have more games than others. Other weeks they may not have as much. So we're going to do this once a week until 1 week before the end of the regular season. So we will be doing this for a couple of months now. So again, we'll be doing these on Tuesday from here on out. So maybe this will be a good start. So Cincinnati or Arizona, last chance, or I'll make the call. All right, looks like we're going to go... I'm going Arizona on this one. I like Arizona and the way they're playing. They seem to win games when the going gets tough, and they seem to play better than what I've seen for Cincinnati so far. All right, next game we're going to look at right now is going to be number 2 Auburn versus Missouri. Auburn or Missouri? Who do y'all have? I know one person out there that may be watching would go for Missouri, and that might seem good and all, but you know, Auburn is higher ranked than Missouri in this game and everything, so it looks like I've got 2 people from Missouri. So it looks like we're going to go Missouri on that one. All right, next game we're going to go with is number 5 Alabama versus number 12 Oklahoma. Alabama or Oklahoma, who do y'all have for picking purposes? Anybody? Any takers? Alabama or Oklahoma, who do y'all have? I guess since no one's voting, that's okay, but I'm going to go Alabama. All right, next game we're going to look at is Texas A&M versus Texas. Who do y'all have, Texas A&M or Texas? Texas A&M or Texas? Who do y'all have? I think in this game, I'm going to go Texas A&M. Texas A&M is better than Texas in basketball. Now, if this were football, I would say the opposite, but this is basketball, so Texas A&M on that game. Last game we're going to look at this week within the top 25 is going to be number 19 Gonzaga versus Loyola Marymount. Loyola Marymount or Gonzaga, who do y'all have? I know who I have, and I've got 2 other people who have told me who they would go for, but I want to see what y'all have to say. All right, I guess I'm going to make the vote here. We're going to go Gonzaga on this game. Anyway, that will do it for the top 25 matchups in the men and women's basketball for games on the Saturday of the said week. This week, the games will be taking place on January 4th of 2024. So just as a quick review, in the games that we picked, and the women's aspect, number 1, UCLA versus Indiana. We went UCLA. In the number 12, Kansas State versus Texas Tech in women. We went with Kansas State. In the number 18, West Virginia versus BYU. We went with number 18, West Virginia. In the last women's game, TCU, the number 11 team versus Cincinnati. We went TCU on that one. In the men's games, the games that are being played in the top 25 on January 4th, 2024, the Saturday of the week in question, is number 6 Florida versus number 10 Kentucky. We went with Kentucky. In the next game, it was number 24 Ole Miss versus Georgia. We went Georgia. Number 1 Tennessee versus number 23 Arkansas. We went number 1 Tennessee. Number 3, Iowa State versus number 25, Baylor. We went number 3, Iowa State. Number 14, Houston versus BYU. We went with Houston. Number 15, UCLA versus Nebraska. We went with Nebraska. Number 17, Mississippi State versus South Carolina. We went with Mississippi State. Number 4, Duke versus SMU. We went with Duke. Number 16, Cincinnati versus Arizona. In that matchup, we went with Arizona. Number 2, Auburn versus Missouri. We went with Missouri. Number 5, Alabama versus number 12, Oklahoma. We went with Alabama. Number 13, Texas A&M versus Texas. We went with Texas A&M. And number 19, Gonzaga versus Loyola Marymount. We went with Gonzaga. Okay, one other review. We are going to go back over the AP poll top 25 for the women and for the men. First for the women. Number 1, UCLA. Number 2, South Carolina. Number 3, Notre Dame. Number 4, USC. Number 5, Texas. Number 6, LSU. Number 7, UConn. Number 8, Maryland. Number 9, Oklahoma. Number 10, Ohio State. Number 11, TCU. Number 12, Kansas State. Number 13, Georgia Tech. Number 14, Duke. Number 15, Tennessee. Number 16, Kentucky. Number 17, North Carolina. Number 18, West Virginia. Number 19, Alabama. Number 20, California. Number 21, Michigan State. Number 22, North Carolina State. Number 23, Iowa. Number 24, Michigan. Number 25, Ole Miss. In the men's AP poll top 25, number 1, Tennessee. Number 2, Auburn. Number 3, Iowa State. Number 4, Duke. Number 5, Alabama. Number 6, Florida. Number 7, Kansas. Number 8, Marquette. Number 9, Oregon. Number 10, Kentucky. Number 11, UConn. Number 12, Oklahoma. Number 13, Texas A&M. Number 14, Houston. Number 15, UCLA. Number 16, Cincinnati. Number 17, Mississippi State. Number 18, Michigan State. Number 19, Gonzaga. Number 20, Purdue. Number 21, Memphis. Number 22, Illinois. Number 23, Arkansas. Number 24, Ole Miss. And number 25 will be Baylor. Again, we will be doing these live streams once a week, every week till 1 week before the last week of the regular season in college basketball. And these live streams will be on Tuesday going forward from here out until the very end of doing that. In those streams, we'll go over the AP poll top 25 for the women. We will go over the AP poll college basketball poll for the men for the top 25. We'll look at the matchups on who they will be playing on the Saturday of the week in question in those top 25 matchups. And then you, the viewer, will be the one that gets to pick and choose who is going to win. We're going to keep a running tally on the games that we mentioned and see how well we do just by making picks like that. And you don't have to know anything about the game or anything like that just to do it that way. So, and we will be doing that weekly. Also, just a word of announcement, there will be one more college football live stream, but that live stream will take place once we know who is playing for the national championship in college football. So college football fans, don't worry, I've got you covered. We will be doing another live stream once we know who is specifically playing for the national championship in college football. Anyway, any questions, comments regarding what we've just talked about? Anybody? Well, thank you for taking the time to hear what's going on with this live stream regarding college basketball picks. This is a group thing, so we'll see how we can make this grow. If you will, please hit the like button, please hit the subscribe button, please hit the notification bell so you can be made aware of when I'm doing these live streams regarding men and women's college basketball, when I have sports education videos, when I have sports action videos, when I broadcast live, or when I have breaking news in the sports world. If you wish to subscribe, there's two ways to do it. One, go to www.youtube.com/@sportslov. If you want to do it a simpler way, go on the YouTube search tab and type in Bob Amin. Bobamin. You'll know it's me because I have Sports Live Media burned into a basketball as my avatar. You can also find me on Twitter at the handle @BobAmin16. Again, thank you for joining me on this live stream. I am broadcasting live on location from Veterans Memorial Park in Huntsville, Alabama. And I thank you again. We will be doing the next live stream regarding this college basketball on Tuesday, 6 days from now. And then from that point, we'll do it every week on Tuesday. And we also will have a college football live stream once we know who's going to the national championship game. And there will be updates in the form of videos regarding bowl games that we haven't already covered. I've already done some videos where it's including some of the scores from some of the bowl games. So we'll continue to do that. Anyway, no questions, no comments. I hope y'all have a wonderful day, and thank you very much for joining me today. It is greatly appreciated.